Loosen up, dude. Have a good time.
Hey.
Enjoy yourself.
I'm plenty loose. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Doorcast. I'm Luke Schwartz, the host, pretty much. We got some good door guys today on. I know you love my energy.
You did pick the worst group of three people to just sit here and make fun of you while you try to be very professional. You are being very professional whenever.
I'm being very normal, and this is how I am all the time.
Bruce, no crosstalk.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No
dude.
cross-dressing either.
So funny.
Come on.
This is good. I to my left we have Bruce Gray.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much
How long
for
you been
listening.
working here?
I got hired in August of 2019, and then I worked here until the pandemic, and then I've been working here
So
now.
it was like a couple months, and then couldn't come here anymore.
And then I moved, and then I moved back, and now I've been back here for 4 months.
Oh, where'd you move?
I moved to Vancouver, Washington. It was about 5 minutes over the bridge from Portland, Oregon. It's just a little bit cheaper, a little bit more white trash, a little bit more my speed.
Are you a white trash kind of guy?
I like to think so. Well,
You like to think so?
Yeah.
Bakersfield.
I have pride in being white trash.
Born
Oh,
and
right.
bred.
Yeah, Bakersfield boy.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. Alex Hanna over here. How long you been working here? You don't have to clap. It's a normal conversation.
No, it feels like a special conversation.
I think it feels-
does
Okay.
feel like a special conversation.
Look, this is a big event, and I'm
Let's-
tired of you
let's run
fucking playing
some
it
kind of-
down.
These are my boys,
Mhm.
and it feels like you want to put a hamper on my boys. That's fucked up. Anyway, I've been working here since December 26th, 2019.
Oh, wow. You know the actual date.
Yeah,
Wow.
great Christmas present. I got the notification at Jay's Bar. I got an email from the former GM here, Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the one who hired me. I did actually Jody was the one who hired me, and then
Joe
Curtis
Dog.
gave me
Yeah.
the confirmation. And it was a great Christmas present. And then 3 months later, the pandemic hit, and I
Yeah.
was back at my parents' house.
I remember you doing very well on the open mic that one time, the potluck, and I told you to stick around and talk to Adam, and he talked, and that was like the beginning of that, I think.
Definitely. He gave me like a 2-minute, like, hey, do you want a door guy job? And then was like, talk to this other guy. And I was like, well, this doesn't feel like it's actually cemented in. It just feels like I'm kind of in the process.
That's
but-
very Comedy Store, that
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, I remember specifically, I was here, I don't remember if I was working or not, but I was like really busy doing something, and Alex came down the OR steps and like stopped me. He was like, hey, he was like, you were standing in the hallway kind of just looking around, and you were like, hey, who's Curtis? And I was like, what? And I looked at Adam, I was like, or at Alex, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you, like, not even like it crossed my mind, like, oh, Alex would never work here, but I was like, why are you asking me where Curtis is at? I'm busy. And then I was like, and he was like, oh yeah, Adam asked me if I want a job here. He said, talk to Curtis. And I was like, oh, okay. And I took him through the hallway and the kitchen
Yeah.
all the way to the office.
Yeah, it's so good fellas around here,
It
walking
really- yeah, dude.
around. Jeremy Scippio is also here.
Hey.
Hi, how
I
long
don't
have
get
you...
applause. Damn.
He
Okay.
told us not to. I got in trouble last time I applauded.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have asked for the applause.
It's even worse. Yeah. Anyway.
How long you been working here? Not two.
Was it July 2021? Yeah. So is that 6 months? Is that 7 months?
So yeah, great.
Yeah.
And but you've been around. I've seen you around the Comedy Store for longer than I've been coming around. Probably.
It's been almost 10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
So what happened? You like threw somebody into a trash can, and Richie was like, "You got a future in this building. This guy gets it."
You got tired of kicking me out. No, honestly, I was just in the, I was chilling in the main room, and then Richie walked past me. He was like, hey, you thought about working here? Because, well, I'll take you through the whole process. I remember, from us being shut down.
We were desperate for people at a time. Not that you were,
trust
whatever,
you,
but
me.
they were grabbing like some people. It was,
Desperate is my bat signal. So
that's how you get in. is
But no.
desperation.
But I remember, I did the, I guess the development, Friday, Saturday spot, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like the second one back in.
But you were friends and family before that, right?
Yeah, I was friends with family before.
Did you
that.
do your showcase in the window when they were doing it on the patio? They were like, "There's a door guy showcase through the window
You
tonight."
know what's funny? Everybody hated it. I actually liked that.
I didn't mind it.
People hated it.
It was weird the first time, but yeah, I didn't mind it. I did a
People
few
heckling
others.
you, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't even hear them. Like, I'm just gonna go through my shit. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. But anyway, so yeah. After the second time of coming around, Richie, I was just in the main room chilling. Richie was like, "Are you trying to work here?" And I was like,
That's how official this place gets. It's very much like Alex is like, I don't know if I'm hired.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Yeah.
it just hit me like what the fuck? I never, to be honest with you, been coming here this whole time. I never really considered it.
Yeah.
So,
well, you barely work here now as it is, so that's good. You're always requested.
All days off.
Yeah, all days.
Jeremy
I
Scippio.
do.
Tony, bring up the schedule.
I do like. It is funny. Like there are people that I really like that go like, "Oh, I'm working here now," and I go, "You're already too busy."
yeah.
Like, why do you
Yeah,
wanna-
you're inconveniencing us now.
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest with you,
Not you specifically.
No,
But-
no, man,
but
look.
kind.
To be honest with you, when I first I technically got hired like in June, and I was like, even if I say yes now, I was like, my schedule, I wouldn't even be able to work until like mid-July, and they were like, whatever. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm working here because they made it painless for me, the whole process. I mean, and then I could complain, but everybody's great. Like literally, I don't have no problem with any of you guys. It's funny when people do complain because I'm like, that's not my experience.
Yeah.
And then
Dude, that's what this podcast should be, is coming on here and just hashing out big door guy drama. Be like, who you got a problem with?
Yeah, it's
who are you pissed off at
there's
tonight?
a lot of internal beef,
not.
man. I'm like, I'm not here enough to be beefed.
That's also true. Yeah. That's good.
I love it.
Luke, here, I'll ask you, Luke.
Yeah, go for it.
How
Yeah.
long have you been? How long have you been wearing that chain?
I've been wearing this chain. I wear it every day. All the time.
But I'm saying how, not like hours. I'm saying like what was the day where you were like, you know what,
I'm a
it's
chain
time to
guy.
put the chain on?
Oh, that's interesting. It was a few years ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
Were you just feeling like extra
what
swaggy?
it really does is it makes my look like I have a more of a neck.
Yeah.
It kind of like makes me. I don't know. It kind of adds.
It looks
to,
like
yeah.
you have black friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. The way I walk around.
the overall
Yeah.
swagger that you have.
Yeah, they call it a chaining day.
Ooh.
The day that you get knighted with a chain.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I think he's self-knighted.
Yes.
I don't think anybody came up to him and was like, "Now is
No.
now is your
I
time."
did inherit this from grandmother.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah.
And
it's nice.
It's real too.
Yeah.
This is not.
We got the
I have to tell you, most
the
people-
gold tester. We can come in here and do the bigger.
Yes.
Oh, it'll pass that. I mean, you gotta get the upgrade to pass
Yes.
the test. But
Mr.
yeah, no, it's
Green
not
Neck.
true. Great, no, bro, this is copper.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Probably.
What are you wearing? Oh, I thought you had I thought you had a different thing on it, but it was the way your shirt looked.
That's so as pretty new guys, not Alex, not so much maybe.
Bruce is not new.
Oh yeah,
Bruce was here before me.
That's right. Yeah, 2 years now.
Straight up,
Yeah.
technically.
Where what's the least annoying spot to work?
The least annoying spot to work?
That's right.
I mean, technically, maybe the belly room if you don't have to do anything, but probably the OR.
Yeah.
I mean, it is actually annoying because you have to stay really for a long time. Actually, I would say probably the main room because you get in and get out.
Yeah, you get in and get out. Especially if you're just like seating people and you're just hanging out watching the show. You just like watch a good show full of great stand-up comics. It's like easy, digestible. Nobody's like running around asking you for stuff. Because in the OR, it feels like everybody's asking you for when they're going on stage. You're in control of like
Yeah.
the whole show process.
Yeah.
As opposed to the sound guy in the main room.
Yeah,
who's in charge of that.
who's in charge of that?
Right.
Danny, shout out Danny, shout out Damon,
Yeah.
shout out Anthony, the new guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's newer than them, but he's been around a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever fell out of that main room sound booth?
Not that
Because it's on the second. It's on the second story, and there's no guard.
up there.
Yeah, I don't. I
It's
hate
scary.
it.
Yeah,
It-
no, I-
the roof is
Freaking
3 feet
maze.
tall.
It's like, yo, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
humans can't get through this,
No,
right?
it's
No,
a
it's awful.
small door that you have to crawl past, and it's in an attic.
Yeah.
It's not safe. I doubt it's up to code.
So-
I mean, it's probably up to code.
Tony, cut that
It
out.
feels like you're looking.
Yeah, it's probably up to code. No one come and check.
It feels like you're looking through a straw. Like this is what it looks like.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a little like Willy Wonka vibe.
Yeah, exactly,
When you
yeah.
go through the thing. Yeah, it's a
I'd be
smaller
afraid
door.
of falling off of it.
But I mean, I hate how much I like this place. It really is. It's cool.
That's
Yeah, of
definitely
course.
A lot of
to
the
your
old
picture.
building stuff where you're like, this is great. Like to crawl to a sound booth is wild. Like I don't know where else they have that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of shit like that where it's like it's same thing with this podcast studio. It's like they're not really adding anything on. They're just like fitting shit in where they can fit it in. So they're like, oh, we could fit a sound booth in this tiny little room up here. Let's do it.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like run there before because I mean there was I don't know how long it's been like that.
Well,
I
it's like
guess since-
when I started coming around the Comedy Store, I remember I don't know why it was just like down here was just like a place where you put trash.
Yes, it was a
Now it's-
Oh,
it was a
and
storage room.
Tony Hinchcliffe played video games. He had like a PS4 down here when I started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
would be
can
him
have,
like
what
Frank
are you doing,
Castillo,
man?
and Willie Hunter would be down here playing video games.
Damn.
Yeah, and they tried to Twitch stream it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a
which
thing.
is cool.
I love online. I love being online.
I like your humor, man.
Luke, how did you
Thanks.
have you already answered
so
this on the
dry.
podcast? How did you get hired here?
I have definitely answered it, but I mean,
Sorry, I don't tune
it's
in.
literally not your fault, and we haven't released an
Oh,
episode
sorry.
yet. And also, you
We're
wouldn't have listened
backlogged.
anyway. So, yeah, I got hired when Tommy was still working here. Did you ever meet him?
No, I've heard really awesome stories about what a,
Yeah,
what a
he's
cool
a
guy.
really
he
cool
When
was.
did you
guy.
start coming around all together?
Probably like 2015,
15?
maybe
Oh, yeah.
2014.
That was the year he left.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
That's
first time I
right.
ever came here, I did a bringer show.
Remember.
that was the Willy Wonka of this place. Like, he's the one that designed that hall.
He's sending people down the chocolate river and
Yeah,
shit.
definitely.
Yeah.
He would definitely send people down the chocolate.
Whenever I was like 18 and I did a bringer show here in the main room and I got kicked out for drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you not make it seem so easy to get in?
No, I mean, this is back now. It's like a fucking fortress. This is back in the day whenever there was like no
were-
security
You
whatsoever.
were allowed to. Yeah, we used to have no
I
security.
walked right
guards.
in back in the day.
We were like,
That's insane.
Yeah.
we had to be like, could you please leave the room? And it, like there was like no.
Nope. You had Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc this
The,
guy this
shor-
tall.
the
Yeah.
shortest,
Yo.
the shortest, toughest dude.
I seen him
Yeah.
toss people out of here left and right. It's just crazy, man. When
He was
he's
great.
Yo, Doc's
Yeah.
crazy.
But you used to be able to get in if you were performing and under 21, but
Yeah.
you had to. When I was here, you could only be in for your set, and then you had to get out again.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's. I'm trying to think.
But Bakersfield came in and decided to drink at 18.
Yeah,
here.
dude.
Yeah.
I was getting twisted.
Wow.
Well, the issue was I had a flask of something, and I went to the bar and ordered orange juice. And this one was like, "What the fuck?" And then they followed me back to the main room, and I was just getting twisted off. I don't remember who it was. They were like, "Dude, get out of here!" I'd already gone up, and I was like, "Dude, whatever. I already went up in the main room,
Yeah.
not in my." I didn't say that, but that's
No,
probably
but
how
I know
I,
that's
sure
that's
you
probably how
did
I
that.
felt in my head because
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm like a teenager on the main stage."
It took years for them to purge
Of
this
the
place
bringer
of that
shows.
energy.
Oh, yeah,
just that
absolutely.
energy in general.
Yeah,
Who showed it you to?
Vargas.
Vargas.
Mason.
Oh,
There it
so
is,
it wasn't the worst one.
No, but I had specifically because I didn't know anything about stand up comedy, so I had done like a stand up comedy class in Burbank, and the graduation for it was supposed to be at the store. It ended up being at Flappers, and he was there with a clipboard and was like, "You were really funny," and I was like, "Dude." This is it. Like I am discovered when
Yeah.
really it's just like, oh, here's a new comic that
Here's
I
a
can
new- yeah, I
get
can
to make
exploit.
me a little bit
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
Just like, get out of here.
How many bringer shows did you ever do?
2.
Two.
And then
That's
I
how
did-
many
and
I
then-
did at
yeah.
the beginning.
And then I did one that I didn't know was going to be a bringer show, and the day of, the lady was like, she was like, how many people are you going to bring? And I was like, oh, I'm not going to bring anybody. And then she was like, this will reflect negatively upon you in the future. And I was like,
Yeah.
fucking,
Oh,
I was like,
Crazy Cindy?
no, it was
Oh.
just,
That was my guess.
no, it was,
Yeah.
and I wrote back, I was like, you know what's going to look negative is you running a fucking bringer show. I was like,
Oh,
fuck you.
Nice.
And then I saw her years later, and she
Crazy
didn't
Cindy
remember.
was a terrible bringer show promoter. And she was like not a good person and like really not funny. But then also what really pissed me off is that she tried with her name, Crazy Cindy, to be alliterative, but it's a hard C and a soft C. Like she should have been Silly Cindy or Stupid Cindy or whatever.
Yeah.
But Crazy
Psycho
Cindy.
Cindy.
Yeah. Like every step of the way, bad.
I like you judge her like as an English teacher or something.
Yeah, yeah. No, but
Alliteration, you
here's-
get a
besides
D.
all the obvious stuff, it's that as well. Like she was just wrong all the time.
Did you have to like officially showcase to get hired?
Yes.
How many times?
Actually, no, that's not true.
Just Pollock?
I had done potluck a few times, and I asked around for a job, and Tommy had like enough people like vouch for me. Like I got Lucas Hurl and Garza and Quincy all vouched for me, and I got the job that way. But it like the showcasing that I had done was like for those guys informally, basically.
Yeah, the only way I got, because I mean, you can only really get up on potluck so much, and so it's like the only way I got hired here was continually getting in front of Adam by winning that Sunday night open mic, and I think that happened like 5 times, and then it was like then he like finally, I think like a few people here were like putting in for me, and then one time he was like, somebody was like, you should hire Bruce, and he was like, all right, cool, tell him to come on Monday. And I came on Monday, and he was like, did I tell you to come back? Dude, no bullshit.
That's very
Dude, so Simon Gibson had was on the Potluck a week before, destroyed with the Frank Sinatra impression.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I went up to Adam, I was like, hey man, I'm here to check in for the thing, and he was like, did I tell you to come back? And I was like, yeah, you like this, and he's like, he literally looked at me directly in my eyes and said, do you do a Frank Sinatra impression? And I remember I was like, finally something good is going to happen. And then I went there and that happened. So he's like, yeah, I guess. And I just went up and fucking bombed. And I was like, nobody wants me here. Like fucking whatever. And then like, I did another one a few months later, and somebody, I think that was whenever Ally Mack got hired, because we were on the same one. And then I got hired like a few months after that.
Yeah.
It was a long, tumultuous process.
Have either of you done bringer shows here?
Oh no.
Or bringer shows at all?
I don't think I never did a bringer show, but I actually would hang around and just like get a spot at the end or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that ended up developing into a relationship with the bringer producers or whatever. So though a lot of them were scum. I call them friends.
And that's all it is.
But no, seriously, and bringer audiences were like the best to perform if you didn't bring anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a breath of fresh air for
Dude,
the
it was
audience,
the best to do those
Yeah.
development spots here in front of those bringer shows, because you would go up and just fucking smash. Because
Yeah.
they were like, holy
There
fuck.
were some good ones, but there were some that like they made you just cold open.
Oh, yeah.
Like Michael Q made you like the
Well,
coldest
dude,
open.
the legendary cold open is the Crack 'em Up. It's not a
Yes,
bringer
I
show.
did-
The
no,
Crack 'em
yeah.
Up, dude,
The
the Crack 'em Up,
yes.
the lights are still on. They've barely, as soon as they start seating, they're like,
Yeah.
all right, go. And the
Yes.
house lights are still on. Whenever we were doing, I would go up and do door, I would, no bullshit, do a 10-minute security announcement as the door guy in that room, because then I would like wait for people to come in. I'd be like, yeah, sit there, 2-drink minimum. Like, I would literally fucking,
I see what
I
you're
would
saying. Yeah.
filibuster
Yeah.
on the stage, and then I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, there's 4 or 5 people in here now.
Yeah.
Now I'll bring up the first comedian.
Now, see, before that development system was in place, those were the spots I used to try to steal. You know what I'm saying?
Was the lights on spot?
Well, because that's the only time you can perform. Like,
That's
seriously,
right, yeah.
you know, and
If you're
some,
not booked on the
100%.
show,
yeah, and then some people have like that whole ego thing, like, oh, I'm not going up first. It's like, no, if you don't have that in your mind when you got here, then you weren't going up at all. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But then that's when they implemented the system, which since I was friends and family, I benefited from it. But a lot of people just got X'd out completely.
There was a woman who had just done a Colbert taping like 2 weeks before this, and she had a cold open Crack 'em Up that Thursday show, and she was like the first one up. The lights were still on in the back, like everybody was at their
not
table
good.
but standing up and having a full force conversation at their table. And she went up, she's supposed to do 10 minutes, she did about 7.5, and then ran out the security door. And I was like, "Oh, this is crushing somebody. This is crushing somebody
Killing a
tonight.
dream.
Yeah, killing a dream."
That's
and it's like
awesome.
she's a capable comic. She could have done whatever.
That's so funny.
She just got beat by it that day.
I think you got into it with Luke is a good friend. He doesn't seem like it, but he what was it? I think it was
Thanks.
I think it was Tammy Joe. Or it was somebody where they wanted me to cold open, and he was like, just let me go up and just do like a minute. Like, I mean, it was just like, no, I said just go up there now. And he was like, no, just let me. And she was like, what did I say? I think you did it anyway. Yeah, you did it anyway.
Because at
And
that
she got
point
pissed.
you had to do security announcements. You had to go up and
Right.
be like,
and I
here's
would
the.
say like, hey, here's where the exit is and everything like that. I just wanted to like give you anything.
She was
See, I
so
would do that for
upset.
10 minutes at Crack 'em Up. I'm just like a 10-minute explaining comedy, basically. Like, I wouldn't be doing any bits. I would just be like, the boy, if you really got to go to the bathroom and you need to go to the bath, like, I would take a minute and a half explaining where the
This is while you're
bathrooms are at.
seating the show or no?
Oh, I would be seating from the stage. I would be like, come on in, everybody, because I'm just
Yeah.
like trying to help my friends do the thing. And it's like,
Yeah, some level of
so I would be
warm-up,
doing
yeah.
like, I would be like 2-drink minimum, like from the stage. I would do all of it from the stage.
Crack 'em Up as a whole is a very good show, though. But the bringer shows are really tough. to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Crack 'em
Should
Up
we-
isn't a bringer show necessarily, so yeah.
Should we explain what a bringer show is?
Oh,
We're
yeah,
just saying
absolutely.
bringer
Sorry,
show.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
Someone else go for it. I do a lot of talking.
It's a show where you can only perform on the show if you bring, I would say, an average of, you have to bring 5 people to even perform
However much
on the show.
producer wants.
Usually 5 to 10, and that's why it's, whenever I was saying that I was at that comedy class graduation, that's why it's an unbelievably predatory act to they do it mostly to new comedians, people that don't know any better, and they're like, yeah, come to the show, and the only way you could do this show at the Comedy Store, the best comedy club in the world, you have to bring 10 people, and they'll be like, everybody brings people to every. It's called promoting.
If you're famous, every show is a burger
in theory,
show.
yeah.
In their defense, mind you, these people are low key my friends. But no, in their defense though, it's like a lot of people come here. By here I mean L.A., Hollywood, with this on their mind from some shit they seen on TV. Like, I can be these people.
They don't know anybody,
right? Because I tell you, when I first came here, I remember like somebody I knew was like, this statement. How facetious is this statement? Oh yeah, I just performed at the Comedy Store main room, killed it. They asked me to come back. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
You know
Not only am I a comedian, I'm a regular at the
regular at the
and now I can put Comedy Store on flyers that shows I'm on.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so
that really.
So that's what they're making money off of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know better, just do better, and that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
But it can be, if the promoter is not a scumbag totally, it can be like a nice jumping off point for like some of your first shows and like all your friends who are still supporting this.
Yes.
And haven't you haven't dropped them because you've actually started doing too much comedy.
Yeah. And there's like the once in a lifetime situation of somebody like Justin Martindale getting passed off of a bringer show.
Oh, that's
just because like Mitzi was like walking through.
He was like a bringer comic, and he was like he was doing his thing and like crushing, and Mitzi was like.
The Mitzi days sound, I could be wrong.
That was like I think he was the last comic she passed.
Really?
Yeah.
But the Mitzi days just sound so much more fun, though. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounded like
more wild shit could happen.
It was just so random, as opposed to like these, like they have to keep implementing new systems and then breaking that rule and then a new system.
Well, they would do shit like that, and she would be like, "Luke, you should wear a chain."
Yeah,
you would just always wear the chain from then on.
Yeah, famously told Marin to wear a scarf.
Yeah, or like people like there was another story I heard where they were like, "Yeah, you wear a yellow suit now, and your name is Joey Bananas." And it's like, and then the guy's like, "I guess I gotta be fucking Joey Bananas." He's like, I got no choice.
Yeah, her making the belly room also is a weird move because women comics were complaining they weren't getting up on the shows, and she was like, you know what? We're gonna make a new room and we'll call it the belly room, and that will be female only shows.
Yeah,
and all the women were like, it completely missed the point.
I mean,
like we just want to be on the regular show, like,
separate but equal. Separate but equal.
Right, and definitely separate.
I remember. I remember back.
What a dream that would be, huh, fellas?
I remember back in the Tommy days.
Speaking of this podcast,
I remember back in the Tommy days. He had during potluck for Martin Luther King Day. It fell on a Monday. He was like, okay, he made an effort to not be racist for one day. No, he said he was going to try to
hide his racism for one day.
No, so he said he actively tried to put more black comics on potluck.
Oh, not even all.
Do you know? No, of course. Like once in every 5, right? He inadvertently put up less black comics on potluck due to him attempting to fix racism.
Because he was just going off the name. He was like.
Well, no, just literally, he tried to do one in every I think it was like 4 or 5. Like every 5th comic had to be, but. Accidentally, if you just did it on
that's less than
actually
just people walking up and being a comic on the yeah.
That's white diversity, guys. That's how that
All
works.
I know about Tommy is that he had that legendary haircut, the same haircut as the dude who owns the Raiders. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what that guy looks like? It's like weirdly
he
like layered in the front and then like choppy in the back.
Like a bowl cut that's tilted.
Yeah, a bowl cut that's falling off your head.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Luke.
You won't. Yeah, what? What you?
Oh, nothing. I was saying you have all these topics.
We might as well follow.
Yeah, there's just stuff written down. What is your favorite room in the Comedy Store, just in general?
To perform on, main room, to just like watch a show, OR.
Why do you like the main room stage?
Just because it feels like a showcase stage. It feels like 70s
it is
Hollywood.
A big red stage.
Yeah, it's all neon filled.
When the lights are right,
it's
the most like beautiful stage in comedy.
When
the lights are right, it's fucking sick.
When Argus is on and he has like the whole setup catered to him, and it feels the follow spot. It feels like this dark. People start smoking like midway through his set. It really feels like you're like transported to another time and place because he's in a suit. He has like a tie sometimes. He's like expecting the crowd to be on the same comedy wavelength as him.
Well, welcome
It is
in.
nostalgic.
And he
Yeah.
is very
And
like
he-
nostalgic.
welcoming.
It feels like an introduction to a different
And he does
space.
he does classic comedy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like what people think of when they see like
All killer, no filler.
yeah.
You millennials, I gotta tell you something. What y'all do?
Yeah. I'm
Keep
trying to
me-
date one of you now, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
there's a couple points, like he crushes, and there's a couple points where everyone's like, ooh, I don't know.
I eating pussy like nobody's business. You know, folks. He just goes into an next killer bit.
It actually
Think
get-
about
Oh, what?
JFK.
Keep going. It's getting better as you're doing it.
The impression, it's catching on. I'm hearing myself finally.
Yeah, but I'd say mine's is, but it's a certain time period exactly though. But I would say the belly room before the fire the fire marshal put the cap on how many people are allowed to be in there. Because when roast battle first
I mean, it
started,
was always there, but
Yeah,
they just
10.
came back and
Oh.
reinforced it.
Came in like, what the hell's going on
I
up
think,
here?
I think it's like the capacity supposed to be like 65 people.
Yeah, and it was like 200.
yes, yeah.
It was
But can
probably
I
about 80 or 90 people packed into it. And not a
No,
It was
like
crazy,
a
man.
It was
like
I would
100,
say it was
dog.
over 100.
It used to be
Yeah.
bad, dog. It used to be like it used
Because
to
if you think
stink.
about it, there's on the floor. There's like 60 seats on the entire floor.
No, we would crank 74 in there. When
On
I
the
started
floor.
working on 74 on the floor, 25 on the extra rail.
Yeah.
And then it'd be just 100 from there. And
Plus
then they
the
would
standing-
pack
This
people
was the
in.
pre-COVID heyday.
Pre-COVID.
and then
day,
people
yeah.
would try to walk through that little maze to get
It was
to the
fucking
stage.
Astro World in
But
there,
the
dude.
reason why I liked it because that's fucked up.
People are like, his dad has AIDS, and everyone just fucking tramples each other
Yeah.
during roast battle.
The reason I liked it was like the beginning of 8 Mile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it was
like, straight
insane.
Up, it just was like it was just packed, and you would
Just
come.
the Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. It just was like I remember because I didn't even take advantage of that room like I should have because I was like fucking kill. I was like you do one thing I like about that crowd is they want blood. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So they don't even give like
They
bad
don't know
jokes,
what they want.
but they don't give bad jokes.
Back in the
energy.
day, dude, for that and for that, whatever the Sunday night open mic also was like,
Oh,
it
show
was
up,
Crazy
go up.
shit.
it was whenever it was packed out, it was a fucking lion's den. I remember,
Yeah.
dude, whenever I first came here, I like had gone to that. It was completely packed. It was whenever Vine was still going on, and
Fine.
Oh wow.
there was a Vine person,
was
and
like,
maybe
who was
Vine had
Vine?
maybe Vine had just ended, but there was a Vine person that was big on Vine that was up on stage. It's completely packed, and it's all fucking open micers, people that want fucking blood, like you're saying, because especially because this Vine dude is on stage.
Yeah.
So he's bombing, and he's like a minute into his set bombing, and he goes, "How much longer is this gonna?" Like how much longer do I have? And somebody in the back was like 20 more minutes,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, yeah.
And the room like laughed. I would say like a medium sized like laugh. And I think Frank Castillo was maybe hosting that night because he stood up and was like, guys, come on, like everyone chill, like come on, guys, like pretending to be cool. It's like, guys, come on. And then it was quiet for 2 seconds, and they stood back up and he goes, he's not used to doing more than 6 seconds at a time. And the entire room exploded. Like truly nothing I've ever heard. It sounded like a fucking barrel of monkeys just like screaming at the top of their lungs, laughing, and like people are punching stuff. And I hadn't moved here yet. I was like about to move here, and I was like one of my first times like
Oh, really?
here as like a normal like comedian, not like a brand new comic. And I literally remember like leaving here and being like, what the fuck was that? Like that was terrifying. Like I didn't know anybody really, so I was just like surrounded by
I mean,
these
that
fucking
can be really.
animals, dude.
I mean,
was just
people
like,
are scared of public speaking. That is a whole nother level
yeah,
of fear.
yeah, dude.
Primal.
Because I was like, I feel like I'm an okay comedian, but I don't want to be on the receiving end of what that guy just got, because that fucking sucked, man. I was laughing too at the guy, but I was.
So, do you like the belly room best, or where do you think you like performing best?
I think if it's, I think I'm kind of. It's hard because it's like I think the main room is like when the main room, especially when the lights are right and it's like the fucking like kind of blue and orange when the twirly thing is on and it's like the shit in the background. I think that looks the best, and I think that like to watch a show that is the best. Like, but a lot of the times whenever you get to do the main room, unless it was a development spot back in the day where you would go on like maybe sometimes like middle end, like sometimes like
Yeah.
middle beginning, and like you're doing completely packed out main room, like that's the shit. But like with the cold opens, it's like half full because the crowd is still coming
Yeah,
in.
I'm not
so
talking about cold open. I'm talking
no,
about like,
that's
fake-
what I'm talking. So it's like, but my opinion, I feel like is different because it's like if like potluck OR when it's completely packed is like
That was
that's
my
favorite.
that's
favorite.
the
Fun
that's
too,
the
yeah.
shit. But
My
it's like
favorite room was
belly room
Mondays.
too when it's completely packed out because like
OR.
especially because the people on that second level are kind of like on top of you almost. It seems like when it's completely full. So I would probably say like friends and family OR
Mhm.
completely packed, or the belly room.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun on Monday's potluck. I like even a medium set. I could still feel like I'm home. Like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
like the original room. I think I've said this before on this, but it doesn't matter. That's a podcast. Is the guy repeating himself a lot? Is very much a comedy club room.
Yeah.
It looks like a comedy club. It's not like a theater like the main room is, which is great and like cool, but like it's very much low black ceiling, black walls, everything's black.
Yeah,
and
nothing's changed in fucking a million years.
Yeah.
The curtain is filthy.
No,
No,
actually,
they redid it in 2014.
yeah. When Ari shot his special here,
Yeah.
Ari
And then Gerard did
Shafir
it, yeah.
bought a new curtain and left it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
As like a
Man, I was here during the day, and it is dirty.
yeah. I guess yeah. But before that, it was like a thin, like very bad.
Oh, I know what you're
material
talking
that
about. It's
was
like a weird, like vinyl almost.
but like not sparkly, but like hard.
hard but shiny a little bit. Like,
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was very and flimsy. It sucked. It
What I liked,
really looked bad.
what I liked about those potluck days is that I liked the fact that we all like returned to see like what people were working on. You know what I'm saying? Like you just kind of like watching people level up. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
of course you can do that anywhere, but it was, that list is biased as fuck, and we got to see the same people.
It's a
It's a random lottery, and
well,
it's
first of
made
all,
by a
the
mystery
lot-
person.
The lot,
Yeah,
potluck,
before.
the open mic itself was a random lottery, but like afterward, it was just friends and family. Like
Yeah,
that-
friends and family, of course,
that's who it was.
Yeah.
Like it was only people who had gotten past in the system, so
Yeah.
that's why you would see the same.
Well,
people those weeks.
I got in because it was rigged, and I knew the person who was rigging it for me, for you. And initially I didn't know the person, but yeah, I knew who.
It used to be way more rigged.
it used to be way more
It
rigged.
used to be, yeah.
And it should be.
I mean, based off of talent though, they were like,
No, the first-
towards the end, the last few spots were like, yo,
Oh yeah, the last
yeah.
half of the potluck. There's a 16 spots. The first 8 should be random, and though you should, if you know who those people are, always put the worst people up in the first 5 spots because I've heard somebody else say
So
it.
nude.
But if you go up in like the first 4 spots of potluck, you may as well not go up. Like
No,
you,
who said
no.
that?
no,
That's true.
That's
no,
not
it's
true.
nobody. It's
I disagree.
no, it's the first
I'll
person
be paying
especially.
attention, man. You never know.
I
would never come down.
No, so like you're in there with fucking opera binoculars, like, oh, I'm paying attention.
Oh,
Fuck
as
no.
someone who was there every Monday and hosted quite a lot, I got surprised quite often by people in the first 4 spots, like doing real comedy.
You
I was
want to
like,
see how
fuck
they
yeah.
handle it? Like how
Yeah.
how do you handle nobody?
And I was like,
people
fuck
walking
yeah,
in,
good. Like there were some
How do you handle nobody?
really good spots
How
in
do you
there,
handle
and it was harder, and it is worse, and it's usually just like newer, random, like comics that have like this is the first time they've ever signed up on anything.
Yeah, and like, well, the first person is always like the craziest name. It's always like Granddaddy Jones or like
Or
Grand.
GT,
Yeah,
rest in peace.
R.I.P. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
yeah, dude. Yeah, R.I.P. GT.
We haven't
Yeah.
seen any bird impressions lately.
Shit. Damn, man. Yo, he was, man, that's
What
crazy.
the fuck you mean? My sperm gave you diarrhea? Dude.
Yeah, comedy
Dude,
is a
he's
nightmare.
literally one of the first
There's
one, man.
like, it's a nightmare profession.
My buddy was telling me this story about GT and how he was like outside this open mic called the Murder Room, like in East Los Angeles, and it's like this outdoor mic that has like a little bit of an interior space that the mic is in, and they like stumble upon him outside, and he was like full force kicking a tree, like trying to karate chop a tree down, and it frightened them. He was doing it so hard and so intensely, it fucking frightened them.
Dude, you know what GT did as a job was, I think he did a few things, but he had gumball machines. And made
Oh, I heard he had-
either he had a bunch, he had
yeah.
money. Either he had a bunch of gumball machines, or he worked for a gumball machine thing. And
Not even vending machines.
no gumballs. So somebody told me they saw him refilling a gumball machine, and then that was whenever I asked him about it. And he told me yeah, and then I asked him if GT meant gumball technician, and he said no.
That's really funny. Yeah, GT was a open micer for years, just a LA guy.
I would say legendary open mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Legendary open micer in LA for years and years that you just see all the time and be scared of.
He was
Yeah.
a ding. Was he a
There's a-
ding donger too?
I think he was for a little bit. Like everyone who has a weird name like that kind of passes in and out of the ding dong
Come through the
world.
ding dong
Yeah.
show.
There's a cast of characters, weird guys, you know, that hang around the Comedy Store. Some of them got,
Yeah.
all of them got backstories. Some of them are interesting, some of them are not, you know. And then, like, you know, rest in peace to Kevin, Jesus.
Yeah.
Sunset
you know,
Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Boone, I don't know where the fuck Boone is.
Dude, I saw
somebody saw Boone
When?
recently.
Yeah, recently.
I saw Boone multiple times at like the beginning of the pandemic when I remember because unemployment was really kicking, and I saw Boone because I would walk down to this coffee shop by Crescent Heights and Santa Monica, and he would be chilling at that park, and I'd always
Two
go up
different
there.
shoes.
Yeah, and I would go up there to Boone, and I'd be like, "Oh, what's up, Boone?" And he'd be like, "You know, I saw one of y'all door guys in the paper," and I was like, "Who?" He's like, "I don't know, I gotta find it." And he's
Yeah.
like, looking through all this shit, and I was
He
like, "All
hates
right."
people and he doesn't know any of their
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
So,
But I was saying unemployment was really kicking because I was in my head. I had gotten a bunch of money at the time from unemployment shit, and I was like, man, Boone has lost his income at the Comedy Store just as much as I have almost. So I remember
Yeah.
I gave him $40, and I was like, and at that time I didn't know when shit was gonna be back. I thought it would be sooner than this, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was like, next time, whenever shit's back, you owe me some shirts or some whatever,
Yeah.
like all kinds
So
of
you're
shit.
the reason why he doesn't come back.
Maybe it's because he owes me $40. I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. So Boone, I don't know if we've talked about Boone before on the podcast. Boone is a fixture at the Comedy Store, semi-homeless guy.
I wouldn't say semi.
Yeah, he's
No, he has an
homeless.
apartment.
Dude, one
He
time
has
it
I
was.
thought you were
That's
gonna
what
say semi-homosexual
Oh, no,
because he's full blown homosexual.
Yeah.
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 I tried to follow him home one time in the car when he was walking because I wanted to see where he was going. He was leaving the Comedy Store. It was like 3 a.m, and so I was going slow, and I would go and make a U-turn. And I did it for like 15 minutes, but he just kept walking. So I was like, "Fuck
I
that."
was gonna say he just vanished.
I've heard that he has an apartment
No,
somewhere.
no.
He probably lives at
No,
like the
I don't know,
10,000
like,
building,
I'm
like
saying,
the like
Jason
fucking
Tebow
crazy.
says he
balls.
has an apartment.
I
Jason Tebow was like his
Maybe.
friend.
I seen him wake up out of like a yard
Yes,
on
he
Crescent
also
Heights.
he also has done that.
Mike
but
in his house.
But
No.
so
Well, because he
Boone-
was
Boone-
here drinking a fucking 100 PBR tall cans.
Yeah, so
you
Boone
give me a
he's
beer?
this skinny little guy who's ageless.
Yeah, yeah.
And, he's old as the pyramids
I mean,
and
I
looks
heard,
great. But he is a homeless. He would sell things for $1, like shirts and like weird little trinkets he
record,
would find.
even good
Knickknacks.
stuff.
Yeah,
Records,
like I bought like cassette tapes from him one time, and I was like, "Why did I do that?"
He's
That was
like the
just-
closest thing in
but-
real life to like a video game NPC character,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that you walk by
You're,
and he's
you
like,
go to the shop and you re-up
Yeah.
on potions, or
and you're
whatever.
just walking
Sure.
by and he's saying NPC shit. He's like, I seen one of y'all in the paper, and
Yeah.
he's just like,
And I don't know exactly how long he's been
But-
here, but I heard that even like when Eddie Murphy came up here, he was like, "Hey, Boone, how you doing?"
I think it's been since either early '90s, late '80s. I think is how long he's been here. But
you know Eddie
his full
Murphy, a
name-
homosexual.
Yeah, his full name. He's convinced everyone's a homosexual or bisexual, and his full name is not Boom Shakalaka. It is Boone
Boone
Shakalaka. He got that wrong. But Boone is not in his real name. I've seen his driver's license.
Rudolph.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, what is
His name's Rudolph.
Yeah. He-
I know he hates when you say.
Oh, I'll
anything
call him out
close
all the
to-
time.
Oh,
Like, Rudy.
shit.
but I haven't seen him since the pandemic.
Yeah.
No, and he is very annoying, but I do enjoy his company.
Well, he has a type. You're not his type.
No.
though.
No,
Alex is his type.
Alex
Yeah.
is his
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
He-
Wavy guy.
Yeah, he likes skinny
Skinny
guy,
one.
and he'll go, "Let me buy you lunch." I'm like, "Boone, it's okay." And he's like, "No, let me take you out, buy you lunch." He's wearing 2 different shoes that has writing on it. He wrote in Sharpie on all his clothes
Yeah.
about just diatribes about
Yeah.
bringer promoters and
Oh,
like comics.
Danny Bilak.
Danny Bilak.
Danny
What-
Bilak.
Love his life.
I love him.
I've
Yeah.
never.
He writes like a Comedy Store newsletter on his T-shirt. That's how you
Yeah.
find out the news about the Comedy Store. As you're walking by, be like, "Oh, I didn't know that Danny Bilak is a homosexual." Like that.
He's stuck in
I don't know who
time.
Danny Bilak is. but I know
Danny
who
Bilak,
is.
he used to be here all the time,
Yeah.
hanging with Dan Madonia.
He runs the
Right,
Amazing
yeah,
Comedy
Yeah,
Theater.
I've never met him.
I've never met him either.
This predates me.
Yeah.
Only reason I know Danny Bilak is because of the story about. I guess it was Matt Edgar, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Dan Madonia running around on the roof of the Comedy Store, butt naked, and Boone and Danny Bilak. Boone found out about this, and he's pissed. He literally
he was left out.
He wishes that he was up there
Yeah.
to see them, and because
To
of
this
that
day,
moment,
it's his whole thing.
he goes, "These guys are homosexual,
They're
and
click
they won't let me have sex with them." They're
click clackers. That's the entire.
Tony Click-clack.
Yeah,
Click-clack, yeah.
that's he doesn't call people. He does call people homosexual,
This
but
guy, man.
he never he never calls people gay or like pejorative like slurs about gay people.
No,
They're
he
all
says-
click clackers.
or bisexuals.
Bisexual click
Yeah.
clackers.
Click Clacker is a bisexual person.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so funny because I go, I'll bring someone in and you go, you got to meet Boone. And I'm like halfway through, I'm introducing. I go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And they're like, you work here? Like
Yeah.
you hang out here, Luke?
Yeah, he's just
this is a crazy place.
He's a homeless guy. He's obviously homeless. He has a big rolling duffel bag full of
Big
things.
suitcase.
And for some reason, people were always so confused as to why he is just allowed on the comedy. Like he would set up shop on the on the
Sometimes,
railing
yeah.
and
Yeah,
be
we
like,
stopped
"You want
that
this? You
too,
want this
yeah.
T-shirt?"
What was really one time I forget who someone asked him like, Boone, if you ever had like a new pack of like 3 white T-shirts, I would love that. And he goes, oh, give me a second. And he walked away, and probably like 30 minutes later, like he has a little stash like around the bushes near, like past what's the sushi place? Katana.
Yeah, he has a stash.
He has a little stash spots, but he came back with a pack of Hanes 3 white T-shirts.
Dude,
and we were like, what the fuck is going on?
Whatever
This
he
is
stole for the
absolutely
day, it
wild.
doesn't
He's
matter.
reliable.
Yeah.
Same thing. He sold.
he was
He
reliable.
sold Stephen Fury a fucking really cool Garth Brooks T-shirt, and I told him I bought something. He was like $2, and I was like, "Here's $5," and I said, "Hey, next time you got any like country western shit, I don't care if it's T-shirts, I don't care if it's whatever. I was like, come to me, literally anything. I was like anything like country music related. I told him I was like, give me like a first look deal on that kind of shit, and he was like, okay. And then like a week later, came to me with
That's how you remember. Yeah,
Dude
I got,
came
like,
to me with
5
a
or 6 Wolf
sick,
t-shirts
came
from
to me with a sick Garth Brooks tour T-shirt, like 2.5 weeks later. It was like a size too big, but it was fucking sweet.
Something that on Melrose would go for $150.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, at a thrift shop. Damn, there's characters. You guys remember? You know Eddie Whitehead Jr.
Of course.
I've seen him panhandling a few times. Like it's great.
You know what's
It's
funny
wild.
is that some people, just based on the way they dress, they can either be really, really rich or really, really poor.
Yeah.
You can never tell. He's one of the people I thought that had money.
Oh no.
Well, he dresses kind of Mad Maxy, but also like
Yeah.
he has like
Here's how you tell
the
if the
walking
stuff is
stick.
like the same and like dirty. Like he kind of came in with like it was like
I've seen him like kind of clean up, so that's crazy. That's like, yo. So is he recently?
No. But like one of my favorite things to do. I go, you know Eddie Whitehead Jr. You know what I heard about him? He's still alive. Like everyone is like more floored by that because he's an older dude.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like didn't he like rob a bank or something? That's what somebody told. Maybe he told me that. He like not like recently. Like he got in trouble back in the day for robbing a bank.
I don't know. I know he wrote a movie that I guess Willie starred in or something. I
Oh
don't
yes,
know.
that's
But,
right. There's a
yeah.
YouTube movie about
Yeah.
like Comedy Store door guy stuff.
Yeah,
that
man.
Willie Hunter and like Matt Edgar are starring in and stuff. There's just crazy people all the time. Robert William Aprovia. Do you remember?
Yeah,
him?
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
So he
called-
has a green suit.
He called the phone line. You explain who it is.
So
but
Robert William Aprovia has been here for so long, and he usually has a paper plate in a plastic bag that he protects himself from
people, yeah.
lasers
Yeah.
and
What-
like Nazis. He's big. He's scared of Nazis a lot. But
Isn't
I
he a
heard-
racist?
Oh, I mean,
What-
And
everybody.
he's
What is he-
homophobic.
what is he
That's the
officially?
worst part.
What's wrong? What is
So
this?
I heard he got a lobotomy.
what that's really funny. What I heard, and I don't think it's
I
true,
did
but I
hear that.
will tell people forever. Is like he got struck by lightning. And
Ah,
what
yeah,
turned
yeah,
him-
yeah.
Oh,
That's
sure.
what it,
That's
dude.
what turned him loose.
Those are the kind of people that the Comedy Store attracts for some reason. Is people where it's like, oh, I heard he got a lobotomy. I heard he got struck by lightning.
Lightning.
Well,
he wears
yeah.
a paper plate on his head to protect himself from
But
Nazis.
he
What I
wears-
say-
he
what I
wears a
say
green
is that-
suit,
Yeah.
and he does the same act every Monday, and he's a
And-
paid regular from the days of Mitzi.
But
And
everybody
he repeats his set to himself when he's like just standing there.
yeah,
by
he,
himself.
he walks around the
He's like,
comedy
Robert-
we
store.
used
He's just a
we used to,
Robert William Aprovia show.
do starring Robert William Aprovia. Yeah,
Like, he was
we used to
so-
do it with him while he's like doing the jokes. Like 3 or 4 of us would just like do it in chorus
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
And people will like heckle him and like shit like that. There was one.
People used to. I mean, people were mean.
Yeah,
like,
Don Barris
would like
would-
throw
yeah,
menus
yeah.
and like bring laser pointers and stuff. And,
Uh-huh.
like,
Stuff,
there was some abuse of that.
There was one
eventually,
time where
like,
he was on stage and I had just been here all fucking night and I'd had a few drinks, so I was just fucking bored. And he was on stage and I had a water bottle full of water and I was sitting on the bench. The bench. I didn't hurt him in any way. I was sitting in the back and it was dark. I was sitting in the back corner. There were still a few people in the crowd. I was sitting in like the very, very back corner and I just started like taking huge gulps of the water bottle during his set. And I was just in the back and I would just go. and just act like you would hear the water hitting the ground. And I was in the dark, so people were like, "What the fuck is that?" And I did it like 5 times, just made it sound like a dude was in the back projectile vomiting during his.
And that is a normal person in the comedy store, which is why it's like so fucking all the time.
It's an
But you know,
employee.
I literally said
I was on the clock.
you were working.
Yeah.
But I always say, man, like there's just not enough circuses around, so that's why these people are here. And if you look at the Comedy Store logo, it's a fucking circus sign.
It is a circus.
So it's
logo.
going to attract these type of people.
It literally attracts a sideshow, freak show
Well,
people.
People will say the Comedy Store is haunted, and I go, yes, by living people.
Yeah.
By like the Boones and the Robert William Aprovayas. Robert William Aprovaya goes up at the end of potluck every Monday when we had potluck, and would go up at the end of the show every time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you knew you weren't getting up if Robert was like, he's like, Robert's next. Sorry, you have to go home. And you'd be like, I stayed all night. I didn't get up. That sucks. But maybe next week.
Yeah, but I feel like we're through this like resurgence time, and I'm noticing like newer characters replacing the old ones.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. And
Like I think I even think the naked chick. I think she's like one of the new characters.
Oh,
She's-
that chick
she's-
with the dice on her titties?
she's becoming a ding donger. Like she is in that. She's in Don's world now. And something like that.
Don's world. Yeah, she's just here half naked. Like, well, dude,
Everybody's
once
like, who is that?
It's
I'm
when
like,
potluck
it's
is
the Comedy
around that
Store.
the freaks really.
Why are you asking?
It's the Comedy
Don't
Store,
ask
man.
stupid questions.
Like, there's just people who are like, yeah, there's like a weird beacon coming out of this place. Well, when potluck comes back,
it's a
it's
crazy
like,
magnet.
Tokyo
It's-
Con Punch.
yeah.
I saw her a couple weeks ago.
Jesus.
Yeah, prostitutes and
Yeah.
like it really is like an old school saloon as far as like sideshow freaks and prostitutes
Yeah,
and like
swinging doors. Yeah,
Yeah.
coming in
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah, dude. And then just like same thing about like the NPC shit. Like of Argus just walking by and we're like on the patio and he's like, "You kids, you live it up, man. We, West Hollywood. It used to be an
As
unincorporated."
he's getting into his car.
Yeah, and he
while
just
he's
starts.
talking.
Argus either talks to you from 100 feet away or from 3 inches. It's the only way he'll talk to you. And he's like, "You kids, but when I was working here, West Hollywood was an unincorporated area, and so prostitutes would walk up and down all night long. And at the end of the night, they'd give us a discount."
Yo, you got
There-
that down.
there's some new characters that are like they're starting. Like, I mean, we see a lot of the same customers a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and then there's people who have never seen a comedy show before in their lives, but they're probably 4 out of the 5 days a week. There's 2 guys that will come and sit in the front row and be the first in line. You know,
Oh,
who
that
I'm
leather
talking about.
jacket guy.
and his guy,
And
that
his
guy that
asso-
looks normal, but I
his
know he's
associate.
not because he's here in line.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
they pay. They must have some dough, you know.
but still, people who buy like one ticket, you are automatically suspicious to me. I don't give a fuck. Like you just.
Well, no, that dude's
No,
always with
that
his
dude's,
homeboy.
yeah, that dude's a cool guy.
Is he cool? I just
Yeah.
be like, yo, I've just seen some weirdos
I
that
don't
like.
want to get too attached so that eventually when it turns, it won't be like super dangerous for me. Like I won't be too invested.
I just been too many times since I've been working here where somebody buy one ticket and then this person goes to the bathroom 5 or 6 times. Next thing you know, they're roaming the hallways. This one dude, I caught him upstairs in the belly room.
Yeah.
Like after a couple times, just like, "Hey man, are you all right?" I'm good. Like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes you feel bad, like, maybe I'm the fucked up one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I caught him in the belly room, just sitting in the dark,
walking
doing a
around.
set to himself. I said, "Yo, are you a comic?" And he goes, "No." So what are you doing here? He's like, "Why won't you leave me alone?" I said, "You are literally in a closed off room."
Oh,
Bro.
it was not during.
It wasn't a show.
No,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whenever,
yeah,
especially
get
late
out of there.
late at night when you're working here, there is like a weird marionette thing you're doing where they're like, this crazy guy's over here. I gotta
right.
you're like herding sheep.
I'm
kinda.
telling you, if you came alone, my eyes are on you. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
up to something.
I just, it's just such a weird thing, It's a
Or in
big
too
thing.
big of a group.
He feels bad. He's like,
No, see, because sometimes there's solo like weirdo comedy nerds that just have heard about the place and kind of like sit around. But if you're wandering around, that's when I go, can I help you?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I have a question about this, and they're normal, and I go,
Yeah.
this is how long the building, whatever.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're like, and I go, get the fuck back in your seat.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the
Bastard.
best. The best thing about this place specifically is as far as customer service goes, it depending on how you act, you can either get the best customer service of your life or the absolute.
Yeah,
Like
it's so easy to hook people up with stuff they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
oh, you want to sit close? If you're chill, like, yeah, I'll put you in a different seat.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
comes
It's
in.
like, I need this seat, and go, well, you're not getting it.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
seat you inside the bathroom, and it's like little shit of like
Sit
people.
down on the floor.
If people come in and you could tell
You
they
know what
like
you did.
are a comedy nerd, they're like more than willing to help out like with the fucking whole process of getting in. It's like, yeah, hey, if you got something like we have an extra front row seat, put that guy in the fucking front row.
Yeah,
seat.
Absolutely,
exactly.
yeah.
Like little things of like,
I really like the comedy nerds who come in and are so excited to be here, and they're like, "Thank you so much," and they've heard like
There's
be
so
nice to
many
the core. I go,
things,
"You cutie."
Yeah.
they're
Like-
like 21, you know, and they
Yeah.
like just turned old enough. They're like, "I'm visiting the Comedy Store finally. Thank you. Is it okay if I sit here?" And I'm like, yeah, "I'm telling you to sit here."
yeah, see that guy? I'm like, give that guy, and I stayed till 2 pin. Fuck it.
There were 4 dudes who came in who were like 21 and 22. I checked their IDs and they were like dressed hip and cool, but were like so deferential. It was great. And they dropped something over the side into the parking lot, and I was walking by like some like vape thing, and they were like, "Excuse me, sir, can we go get that and pick that up?" And I was like, "Yeah, do it quick." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Dude, it's like I'll be outside and people will come up like with no mask, like to come into the place, and they'll be like, "Oh, do you have a mask?" And they'll be like, "No." And like most places will be like, "Oh, well, don't worry about that, sir. Here's what I'll do." And I'll literally look at them and I'll just go, "That's crazy."
I do that. Yeah.
Like that is insane. And then they'll be like,
"You know what's happening."
Yeah.
"Yeah, literally." I was like, like you have to everywhere. And it's not if someone comes up to like,
It's
"Dude,"
not a new rule.
no, but if someone's like, "Dude, because that
Lost
shit
it.
happens to me
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh man, I left my fucking mask, I dropped it or something like it is. People come up and be like, no. I'm just like, that is wild.
Yeah.
You know, I always say the same thing. I say I care the least out of anybody here, and don't make my job hard because it's an easy fucking job.
Yeah.
I don't like. It's all the other stuff is just like it's like just flash. Like literally, only thing you do is checking IDs and make sure people get to their seat.
Yeah.
If you make that process hard, you're an enemy. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
immediately. It's
And I know the vaccination. I understand it's confusing. It's all fucked up. But dude, just even if you're gonna fake it,
Yeah.
keep me out of the shit. Don't show me, don't have one and then go make one and then come back. Like I can't let you in.
I do that shit all the time too, where people will like do something and I'll look at them and be like, hey man, I just work here.
Yeah.
Like, do you
just
think
work
that I
it.
have any power over anything that's like actually going on? Like,
Remember when that guy was yelling at me about the server?
yeah.
And just like, why are you taking? Why you serve the room front to back? I'm sitting in a booth. I should be. My wife has 5 million followers, and was like yelling at me for how long?
For like at least like 10 minutes. And then I walked over there.
It was a real.
I let it go
10
on because
minutes.
I'm kind of
And
watching.
I'm just
and I'm
listening.
like,
I go, yes,
yeah.
you're right. Yes, that's how we do it. And he's like, I've been working here 9 years. We've done it this way the entire time. He goes, I've been coming here for 20 years. I said, so you should be used to it.
But Luke is like rubbing his temples. He's like, yeah, man. I mean,
I'm
he's like, it's a successful business that's been running for 50 years. You
Aw.
would think there's a way.
adorable.
Like Luke is just like, you have to understand that's why
That's
it
a
goes.
very interesting impression of me. But
Yeah, you were like, not
No, I
like you were
was like, no,
defeated
I
at all.
can
You were
see
just
it.
like,
I was
dude,
defeated. I
you
was
have
like,
to
no,
understand.
I hear you. Yeah. No, I agree. Okay. It's just how it's done. You'll get your drink. It's gonna be fine. Like, it's gonna be okay. We know how to do things here. Just sit down.
And I was timing the comedian on stage, and that guy had come up in between comedians, and so I like would like let it play out, and then the guy was like not like nothing was computing, and so I was like, I went over, I was like, hey man,
Threatening me.
I was like, by the time the time that you've spent over here getting nowhere in this conversation, your server would have already come over and served you. I was like, I told him, I was like, you've been over here for 10 minutes. He's like, I've been over here for 7 minutes, and he showed me his. He showed me the time on his phone. He's like, I got here at this time, and then I showed him my timer on my phone. And I was like, you came over here in between comedians. I was like, you've been over here for 10, and I was like, we were going back and forth about how long he's been there. I was like, listen, man,
I think it's
like,
impressive that he sucked you into his world.
fighting over. Yeah, but
He
he's like,
really
Are you
did.
a manager here? And I go, I just go, how can I help you? 'Cause I don't And if Richie was there, he would have fought him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I always say, like, look, man, I'm telling you, I care so little. Like, if I bring anybody else into this shit,
That's a
bro, it's
bummer.
only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Like, what else can you do?
You gotta,
like,
yeah.
like,
You gotta
yo,
understand the easiest way out is by you,
Yeah, that's what
me
I'm
and you
saying.
getting along.
I forgot. It was some scenario where I just was like, yo, you don't understand. Like, I was saying, like, they're raising the profile. I said, yeah, security is looking for you, like, right now. So either A, sit the fuck down or get out of here. That's your two options. You know what I'm saying? Because they like fighting people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, whenever we had more security and they were a lot bigger, like when I would go to kick people out and they'd be shitty, and I would like very calm voice, I'd be like, "Hey man, honestly, like everything can go so smooth," and you could. I'd be like, "Yo, you could just." I would be like, "You could just get up and walk out of here right now." I was like, and otherwise, I'm gonna have to call in this dude who's like 7'8", 500 pounds, and he's gonna just
out the
drag
door,
you
through the
out
window.
Yeah.
There
was
like,
one.
You gotta understand.
There was one night where Ryan and Julian, the security guards, they were just like pissed off all night. They were just like, "I'm here to fight somebody, and I don't care who it is. Like, I know I'm coming into work pissed off." And so there's this like a guy in the OR, and he's like yelling throughout the show. He like won't shut up. And I think Guam was like the person in the OR who was like trying to get him to like be quiet. He was like, dude, you gotta be quiet. He's like being like nice Guam. He's like being like not very confrontational, but this guy takes a swing. He sees Ryan coming. He takes a swing at Ryan, and so Ryan just dodges it and fucking grabs him by the neck and takes him out. And then
I heard that.
And then fucking drags him, like suplexes him down the stairs through the hallway. And I was
Like
just
he
like,
picks him up by the shirt and throws him over his
throws
shoulder.
him over his shoulder. And I was just like, this is badass. I was just like, week 2 working here. I was like, they fucking do a wrestling
dude,
move.
Ryan
This
is like a
rules.
superhero,
Yeah,
man.
he is
Like,
kind of like a
that's-
superhero.
With the vac shit, there's not as many knuckleheads.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
but, dude.
It's
I
been-
remember
yeah,
because
it's been
that
nice.
shit
Yeah.
used to happen all the time. I remember there was one time shit broke out on the patio, and like two security guards and like me are in the middle of this thing. And I remember Ryan didn't do anything. This was whenever he was still a security guard. Oh, and I was like, "You didn't want to like get involved or anything?" And he was like, "Oh no, man. I'm filming a national next week. I'm not gonna fucking get involved." He's like, "I'm filming a national commercial." Dude, the best, honestly, it was a Joe Rogan and Friends show. This dude started crazy shit. This dude there was a bald guy with a beard. It was like, you could tell he did like martial arts, like, or like whatever, MMA type shit. And he was starting shit over like a beer or something was weird. And then like, he was being a shithead to everybody. And then he had sat down they were like trying to get him to leave. And then he sat down on the patio on the stool that I was sitting on. And so I was like already like, dude, fuck this guy. And then I was like, "Hey man, that's my stool. Like, you gotta get up and get out of here." And then he was like, "What? Fuck you." And then one of the security guards was like, "He said that's his stool." They were just like looking for a reason. And so then they pushed him up. And then I swear to God, coming out of the main room right there was a guy who looked exactly like him, but like opposite flipped, like no beard,
Lot of
but
hair.
like with the same, like just the exact same type of
180
hair,
head.
like complete
Sure.
exact height, exact weight, whatever. And this dude came over, a fan coming out of a Joe Rogan show, both of them came over and put just choked this dude unconscious, like had him on the sidewalk.
of the comedy store. He was against the other audience member. Or
Yes. They were both.
Right.
So there was the guy coming out was like choked because he was fighting with security. This is on the sidewalk.
Yep.
That's for legal reasons. It was off Comedy Store property. And this dude was choking him. And I remember I was sitting there and I was like, "Don't drop him. Don't drop him." I was like, "Let him down easy." And the dude let him down very easy. The dude is laid down on the sidewalk, and the guy just disappeared into the night. I think that was whenever you were there, and I told you the story, Alex, and I don't remember if it was you or not, but you're like, "Yeah, you know what they say, the only thing that could stop a bad Joe Rogan fan is a good Joe Rogan fan." Like, dude, both of these two like MMA freaks coming out of a Rogan show, and this guy's like, "He's disrespecting the establishment," and fucking choked him unconscious.
Thanks, guys. This was a really good episode. I think we laughed a lot. And,
Yeah.
that was good.
Did we hit all your points?
Barely any of them, and that honestly makes it a good thing. These are for if we get stuck. We never got stuck, so that's good. Let's plug our social media and stuff like that. Let's start. Alex, we'll go around the horn.
On Twitter and Instagram at AlexHanna_good.
You have a pod or anything for people to listen to?
Just follow Twitter. That's where I like to be.
That's where you get your rocks
Scippio?
off.
That's where I get my fucking rocks off.
At Jeremy Comedy on Instagram, Jeremy Scippio, SCIPPIO.com. I just had a new comedy album come out called Sociopath.
Nice.
Yeah, you can get that from my website.
Is it spelled SCIO, like your last name?
No, it's spelled the way sociopaths spell it.
Okay.
You think about calling it Scippio Path?
You know,
Scippio
I am not one of those type of comedians.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
No, I hate how much you hate people calling you Scippio
Oh
because
my
it's a
God.
great
We
name.
really
It's a
doing
great
this right
name.
now?
It's
Are we
great,
doing
and you're
this?
so
It's
wrong.
really
We're
good.
really-
Jeremy, everyone's
This
fucking
is
Jeremy.
not
Jeremy
an
Piven,
intervention
yeah.
This could
on
be-
my trauma.
That Pearl Jam song.
I just want to, I want to call you Scippio
Okay,
and have
yeah.
you not hate it.
I can't do nothing about how I feel about it, and
Yes,
I
you
can't
can.
control you.
Change your mind.
Yeah, I've been
So
calling you
funny.
Scippio this whole time.
Yeah, I've been calling you
Everybody-
Scippio.
Yeah, 'cause
It's a
better
great
than
name.
Rocks.
You can't decide
I
on what
can.
I feel about what's
You
I
should
don't
get like
care.
when you get famous, you get instead of Chappelle the C, you should get an S. for
Oh yeah,
Scippio.
S.
but then people still
SC.
they still misspell it.
Bruce Gray.
I'm on Instagram at Bruce Gray. I deleted my Twitter last year when
Smart.
Why's that?
I went to
Fucking
Montana
smart.
for a month and decided Twitter sucked, so I deleted it.
Oh, I
last
thought it was
year.
because of the
And
shit you said on there.
you have a podcast with Voki.
Oh yeah, I have a podcast called Fat Jocks. It's very funny and very fun. Listen to it.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at Luke Does Stuff on Twitter, and you please continue to follow this podcast that I'm hosting.
Come to the Comedy Store. I'll fuck you up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.